Hello honeys, today I'm doing a beauty video. I haven't done a beauty video in a long time, probably since like November last year, just because life hit hard again, and my YouTube channel definitely is more lifestyle meets beauty and not just completely beauty focused anymore. A lot of you guys have come to my channel from my lip lift series as of like the past few years, and I will eventually get around to doing an update on my scar, even though there's literally nothing to update. The scar is a scar, but you guys asked, I'll deliver on that, but this video is not about that today. No, today we're doing an impromptu skin video because it is that time where, yes, it is that time where I like to do this treatment, and I don't do it that often, so it's something I usually forget to film for you guys, and that is microneedling. And I have always been pro microneedling. You guys came from my lip lift series, you know I did a lot of microneedling to treat my scar. I was always into microneedling before that as like an anti-aging preventative, and microneedling at home has come far way since like when I first started my journey, but it 100% is one of my favorite like once a month treatments that I like to do, and I find that I do it a little bit differently these days just because I am getting a little bit older. I got this microneedling kit off Amazon, and you guys might be like, sus, microneedling on Amazon, but I kid you not, Amazon's come such a far way. It's like a huge thing in the US. And if you do your research on a product, you can find some pretty like good quality products out there. So the interesting thing about this microneedling device, and there's so many of them like that for like 30 bucks on Amazon, is that it's electric. So you can just, it's like rapid fire, you just go over your skin consistently, and it comes with different attachment heads in a pack that you can repurchase from many different sellers. Now this is not a sponsored video, and I'm not gonna say the brand because in my opinion it really doesn't matter with Amazon sellers because like they're just random small businesses, so you pick and choose, my dear. They're all the same product from Alibaba. But what I do want to pay close attention to before we get started is that you really need to be careful in choosing what needle adapter you're going to use for your microneedling journey. Now, a lot of these needles that you'll find for these devices on Amazon have these like heads that are not actually real needles. And what I mean by that is that they're cut out of like sheet metal, for example, or like stainless steel, like something that's obviously medical grade, except it's not a true needle. They're like, oh wait, maybe this is it getting it? But I don't know, I hope it is. But if you can see, it's just kind of like cut out from like a sheet metal. A true needle will be like these individual needles. A lot of these devices and the needle replacements that you'll see on Amazon have like replacement heads, but I wouldn't even touch the other ones. I would only use the ones that look like this. I prepped my skin, double cleansed, I'm fresh. I'm just going to insert my fresh needle head into the device, and I like to do most of my face, but then also as I've gotten older, I've noticed signs of aging starting to begin in certain areas of my face, such as my eyes. My eye skin is just feeling heavier than it used to, so I use different settings for that. But before we get started, micro needling is really a lot more uncomfortable and somewhat painful with this automatic device versus a handheld. So on Amazon, on any seller, like in America, you can get 4% lidocaine cream. Oops. And I like to apply that in the areas that I like to go in. So I really like to focus on my smile lines because I feel like as I've gotten older, I've started to notice those areas feeling a little heavier. So I like to put my lidocaine cream there, around my jaw, middle of my under neck, and then I like to take a really little bit, and you have to be careful with your placement of this because you don't want to get it in your eye, but I also now microneedle on my brow bone where my eyelid begins, and I don't go close to the hairline, the lash line, because that's dangerous. I mean, this is already a little dangerous and probably not recommended by professionals, but you do what you feel is right for you and what you're comfortable with risking. But know that it's not safe to go over your eyeball, especially with certain amounts, but we go with the lowest depth, needle depth, and then I apply it where I would get crow's feet, because I have started to notice when I smile, I start to see little tiny fine lines, which is totally normal. But as I age, I would like to reduce the depth that I would get those. And then also I have noticed over the past 3 years, and specifically last year, that my under eye bags, I mean, it's really hard to tell in this beautiful bathroom lighting, but I have started to notice that my under eye bags are just like I just permanently look tired even when I'm not, and that in itself is exhausting. So I like to also finely treat that area. And so then I usually leave this on my face for about like 10 minutes to let it kind of sink in and start to do its work. And then I come back, I remove it and start treating my skin with my microneedle device. And then once I'm done, I like to hop in the bath, put a nice sheet mask on, and let that sheet mask do its thing to calm the redness and irritation before I just enjoy the rest of my evening. But yes, let's get started on letting this lidocaine treatment sink in, and then we'll get back to doing the microneedling. It's almost been 10 minutes, but I personally really like to believe that all these like little skin treatments that I do by myself at home, like my IPL photo facials, my microneedling, my red light masks, like my chemical peels, like all that stuff that I do at home and have done at home. Like I think I first started microneedling when I was 22 years old. And just to be advised, if anyone's watching this and you're 16 and under, then this is not for you. Only an adult should be doing these kind of skin treatments. And in fact, I would like legally, an adult is like 16 plus, but even then I would say you don't need to start doing these kind of treatments until you're like 22, 21, when I first started doing it as a preventative measure. And I strongly believe that starting at that age in my early 20s was one of the smartest things that I did, because like it was my 32nd birthday last week, and I kid you not, at the Mexican restaurant that we went to the day before, I got ID'd to get a margarita, and when the lady checked my ID, she was like, because she even said before handing me, she's like, I'm gonna need to see your ID, ma'am, because I do not believe you're over 21. And I was like, girl, I'm 32. But yeah, I think that's all because of the preventative care and the day-to-day actions that I do. And a lot of the reasons why I got into skincare so heavily and I do all these things is because I suffered with really bad cystic acne when I was like 19 until I was like 24. So I've been so passionate about skincare for so long, and I have my own skincare company now. I worked in South Korea. You guys know I worked in South Korea for a skincare company for like 8 years, not living in South Korea for 8 years, just 2 years in South Korea. But like, you know, it's so part of me. I'm so heavily trained in it. I'm so heavily educated in it, that, you know, these are the things that I'm definitely the most passionate about in my day-to-day. And I think if you start at the right time, then you can really generate some amazing results. And that being said, it's never too late as well to get into skincare. But I can feel the numbness. It's not completely numb because 4% lidocaine's like not enough, but it's better than nothing, right? So what I'm gonna do before I start is I'm going to rinse this off my face and then do an alcohol swab so that everything is perfectly sanitized, all the lidocaine's off my face, so that if my eyes cry, which they will, it's not gonna get in my eyes. We are rinsed. I got my 70 proof alcohol. I also use this to sanitize my needle head before going in, and then I'm gonna take this and swab my entire face, just because since the needle is going to be penetrating the skin, I wanna make sure that there is absolutely nothing bad on my skin that could cause an infection in the skin. That's strong. Especially around my eyes. I'm doing this really fast because the smell is so strong, but it's worth it to protect your eyes and your skin from anything bad. Now I like to try to do this as quick as possible before the lidocaine wears off the most. So I like to start with the eyes. So if you'll notice on your device, if you get one of these, there's different millimeters, like there's numbers on the dial. And for the eye area, you just want the absolute lowest one because the eye skin is so thin, you don't want to penetrate too deep at all. You just want surface area. So we're just doing the one level, which is like the 0. It's like the 0.1. It's like barely anything. And then when you turn it on, you can feel it doesn't go that deep. But fortunately, there's 3 settings on here. So there's the first setting, which is the slowest. And then there's 2, which is faster. And then 3, which is faster. And the faster that you go, the concept is you can just drag it over the skin if you have like an essence on. But for me, I like to just stamp it, and I can feel it's nice and numb. It's nice and numb where I really want to target, which is right before my brow bone skin becomes my eyelid. And then, ooh, it's really sensitive. I didn't have as much numbing ointment in the eyebrows, so that is a little tender. I'm gonna get to it right on my under eye bag to help firm and tighten it up and stimulate the collagen in that area, because that area is really starting to show the signs of aging. And really you can just kind of like slowly, without applying much pressure, kind of drag it over the skin if there's any kind of moisture. You can use a toner that you trust for this part. But that's it for that eye area. So now I'm going to go to this eye. So now that my eye area is done, I can move on to my smile line area, and at that point I like to increase it to the 0.25 setting because it's a little bit deeper. And you can also go all the way up to like 0.5 or even a 1.0. When I was treating my lip scar initially, I think I was doing a 1.5 for that area since it's a deep plain tissue scar. But since this is just mainly treating smile line, I don't want it to go too deep. And then the other side. But using a lidocaine to numb the area a little bit makes it so much easier to do this and a lot more tolerable than it would be without it. This is also a great way to target acne scars as well. And that's how I first initially got into microneedling, was for my deep acne scar treatment, because I had, it wasn't boxcar scars. It was, maybe it was. Anyway, it was like deep tissue scarring because I had such bad acne scars. And I also want to get where I feel like I'm starting to get like the jowls forming. You can see I have redness, I have a little bit of bleeding, which is totally normal, especially if you're doing this level of microneedling, where it's more on the high intensity side. But again, I'm not dragging the device, I'm just pressing onto the skin. And then you can also do it under the neck as well. I have been watching a K-drama called, what's it called? Queen's Tears? Yeah. And like, I'm really starting to get like, oh man, concerned about my neck, because like there's this male MC, and like his face looks really young and really plump and youthful, but his neck looks old. Like it's like the skin is getting loose, you can see the wrinkles starting, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want that. start taking better care of my neck. There we go. So that is all that I want to do. So you see I got like some redness, a little bit of blood, which is always possible. So taking my alcohol again, I'm just gonna go over all the areas that I treated to make sure that we're totally sanitized. There's no chance of infection and everything is golden. Once again, I'm not a professional, and I know there's a lot of medical estheticians out there that'll be like, no, oh my god, don't do these things at home. You should only see a professional to do that. But you are in charge of your own body and your own things, and you can make those decisions for yourself as an adult and what's right for you. Just make sure that you're always very gentle and you don't go overboard. And when you start your microneedling journey, always start slow and learn what's best for you. I've been doing this for years, once a month, if not less, as to not traumatize my skin too much. And it's been one of the best things for getting rid of all my acne scars that I got from my cystic acne when I was in my late teen years and early 20s. And what I believe has also helped me stay looking quite youthful into my early 30s. But I mean, the years are only going to keep going by, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm just going to keep sanitizing there. And then we're quite red, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some really intense soothing skincare. I'm gonna be taking my Glow-Atelier Mesosicca Gel Veil. This is my product that I made. It's a extremely calming, soothing, and hydrating gel. It's loaded with Centella asiatica. It's loaded with mugwort, allantoin, like a bunch of amazing calming ingredients, concentrated aloe vera, everything your skin needs to help calm and soothe redness and irritation, and also to help restore skin hydration. It's not a moisturizing, so it's completely different from, like, there's two different things between moisturizing and hydrating. This is strictly hydrating and calming. It's got multiple forms of hyaluronic acid to target both the surface and lower levels of the skin. So that's really going to help with the redness and just get that inflammation down from the trauma we literally just did to our skin. And now I'm just any sheet mask I could find. This is the Numbunzin Water Collagen 65 Volumizing Mask. I have really dry skin, so personally for me, whenever I do sheet masks, I always go for something that's volumizing, firming, intensive, collagen, you name it. And we're just gonna go ahead and put that on and leave it on as long as we can, because our skin is screaming at us, but I guarantee my eyes are gonna be more lifted in just a day. And then we won't be needing to do this again for a month, if not more, whenever we feel like it. If you want to start getting into microneedling, you absolutely should, but just always keep in mind it's super traumatizing to the skin, and it's not something you need to do regularly at all. It's like a monthly, if not longer, beauty treatment. And to know that your skin needs a lot of downtime in between sessions to make sure you don't get any adverse effects. And that after you do microneedling, if you're going to take on these kind of skin beauty treatments, you have to make sure that you avoid the sun. Like, I don't go out in the sun, and when I do, I always have my big UV hats on. I have SPF. Like, my face does not see the light of day. So that's that for my microneedling skincare that I like to do. Once in a while I do like my whole face, but I find for me I just like to kind of focus on the areas that are of highest concern. So the neck, the smile lines, the jowls, and around the whole eye area is good for me for now. Sometimes when I feel like it, I'll do the whole face. But yeah, you guys, that's That's my micro needling thing. I'll have the exact products that I use listed down below, but feel free to shop and explore yourself. These are just like ones that I got just because I was like, yep, you know, I'll buy it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. So it's the next morning after I did my micro needling to my face, and you can see I do have some redness, so it's definitely a treatment that you do at home that requires some downtime like any other, but it's really not that bad. And what I notice is like I always feel like everything just feels a lot tighter, it feels a lot more lifted, it feels a lot more plump and as well, and like glowy, and my skin just overall feels a lot healthier. But this definitely takes a little bit of downtime to recover, and of course what you're going to want to do is stay out of the sun, heavily moisturize your skin, and do all the repair and restoring skincare that you need to do. Avoid acids, don't use any kind of retinols, don't, like in my opinion, don't use vitamin C after you do a heavy microneedling session, because that's an acid and it can cause a lot of irritation and inflammation on the skin, even though like all the dermatologists on like TikTok and stuff are like, get that best out of your micro needling by using vitamin C after. Like, no, don't do that. That can cause a lot of inflammation. You really just want to use all the repairing ingredients. And in my experience, instead of using vitamin C, you can use something like the liquid repair oil veil. I literally lathered my face in that last night because it has like 10 times more antioxidants and vitamins than vitamin C. So use something that's not acidic to get the benefits that you're looking for. But yeah, my skin feels plump, it feels tight, it feels lifted, and that's one of the monthly treatments that I like to do.